You already know what it is. The Crime Chaser, live, uncut, unedited. You already know what it is. It's the Crime Chaser, live, uncut, unedited. You already know what it is. The Crime Chaser, live, uncut, unedited. You already know what it is. It's the Crime Chaser, live, uncut, unedited. All right, people, you already know what it is. It's live, uncut, unedited. Come on in. We talking about violence. Let me get my telephone so I can start sharing it. I thought I hit it. Oh, I see him. All right, come on in. Let me get my telephones. Come on in so I can start sharing it. Come on in. We're asking the question today, does violent prevention programs work? I'm telling you, people, they didn't hit us across the head. They didn't knock us upside the head. This is live, uncut, unedited. You already know what it is. The Crime Chaser, live, uncut, unedited. You already know what it is. It's the Crime Chaser, live, uncut, unedited. They didn't hit us across the head, people. I'm telling you. They didn't hit us across the head. Share it on your page. Share it on your page. And I will thank you. Violence prevention programs. What's up, Janet? Do they really work? I want somebody to tell me, do they really work? Do they really work? This is live, uncut, unedited, people. Come on in. We're going to do our thing, people. That's right. Do they really work, people? Do these violence prevention programs, do they really work? Do they really work? Or is it a ploy just to get money? All right, do they really work? Come on, people, talk to me. Come on and talk to me. Live, uncut, unedited. Come on, family. Come on in and talk to me. This is live, uncut, unedited. Do violence prevention programs really work? Do violent prevention program really works? And we're going to ask ourselves a question that, people. Okay. Okay. All right, people. I need somebody to talk to me. Talk to me. This is live, uncut, unedited. Yeah, I called it earlier. I told y'all there's somebody gonna get shot. I told you, I already know what it is when the weather break. I guarantee you. Told you. And that's just one crime. It's many other crimes happen on other sides of town that I'm not even by or don't even go that way, near that way. This is live, uncut. Does violence prevention programs work? That's what I want to know. Do they really work? Now, instead of the government giving us funds for violent prevention, wouldn't it be wise if they give us monies for jobs, job training, and build jobs in the community? They had what? So many millions of dollars they're giving for government funds for violence prevention. As long as some of these people are not eating, this violence is going to always be around, people. Come on now. We living in a violent country. Violence. This country was taken by force. It wasn't taken praying, speaking in tongues, none of that. It was taken by force, by violence. All right, Janet, I see you. I see you, Peggy. Brown, I see you. Miss Beasley, I see you. William, what's going on, bro? I see you. Latasha, I see you. Leslie Brown, I see you. I see you. Don Tyson, Janice Hunter, I see you. Tone, what's going on? D. Williams, I see you. I see you. Nicole D. Williams, I see you. I see you. Denise Lewis, I see you. I see you. I see you, Dr. Sanders. And I'm asking the question, everybody. Does these violence prevention programs really work? Wouldn't it be wise if they put the money into employment, creating jobs like they do for themselves? Here's a whole hick town, downstate Illinois, where there's nothing really, but they build a prison to house criminals. And what do you think? They build an economy around that. They bring in jobs to that little town. Violence prevention. Does it really work? Money. Come on, people. I need somebody to talk to me. Talk to me. 872-297-6389. Somebody said they do in the suburbs. Anita, what's going on? I see you. Violent prevention programs only inform people. Don't do it. They hear it and see it, but no, it always people who improperly handle situations. Epson, they have 3 job programs for youth. That's great. Now, why can't we mirror that here in the city of Chicago with our youth? Somebody said we need segregation, where we were doing way better when we was not influenced by white culture. I agree. I agree with that. We definitely need segregation. We need to come on back to the fold together and start loving on each other and do what we know we do best. All right, people. 872-297-6389. All I want you to do is tell the truth and shame the devil. That's all I want you to do. Tell the truth and shame the devil. That's all I want you to do. And I want you to start, I got to tell the truth and shame the devil. I got to tell the truth and shame the devil. Okay, now, Don Tyson said, why are we putting emphasis on the government help when we won't help ourselves? Well, first of all, Miss Don Tyson, that the money that the government is putting back into the community is our money, the taxpayers' money. That's our own money. If you work, all that money they taking out of your check, you should know. Somebody said, I work with incarcerated youth. There are hundreds of street gangs in Chicago, and I'm not sure if these prevention programs reach them. Most kids aren't aware of the programs. That's Natalie Smith. Wow. All right. That's great. Annette, what's going on? Boo Johnson, good evening. That's I see you, I see you, I see you. Lisa Campbell, what's going on? I see you. I see you. I recognize you. These kids these days are so angry and violent. Were they born violent? Did we make them violent? What did we do? Come on, talk to me. Come on, people. I'm singing to the choir. I got 63 people on here. I got 35 shares. No one wants to talk. Now, when I start getting on here talking, getting in my zone, that's when this phone going to ring. Not born violent. We are made, we made them violent. Okay. I think we created them to be this way. They aren't born violent. Brenda, what's going on? I see you. Bertha, we first need to learn how to love and respect one another as black people again. Okay. Crime and destruction of black people is big profit for elite corporations. I agree with that. And said, can we talk via the comments? You can get on live, just call me. You can, whatever you want to do. Lack of structure and discipline. Mental health needed, broken households. All right. We got folks scared to talk. Unruly homes. I see it. Unruly homes. Okay. Northfleet, Tawanda. Poverty, dysfunctional families, lack of structure, and criminal mindset makes it a lost cause for help. Okay. Renard, y'all coming on in. We need a school system, pre-K, black college. Okay. Modestasta, I think Otis. Okay. All right. I see you. Kevin Thomas. Okay, people, you already know what it is. It's live, uncut, unedited. The Crime Chaser. What's going on, man? I see you. I see you. There we go. There we go. Now, don't y'all call in at one time now. They calling in. Hold on, caller. They calling. They calling. Caller, where you calling from?
Chicago.
All right. All right, I'm going to bring you in. So hold on, caller. I'm merging you.
Okay.
All right, I got I have a male and a female on here. I'm gonna let the male go first because he called first. Is that cool? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, Marty.
Come on, brother, talk to me. Do these violent prevention programs really work?
Well, first of all, with the programs, you have to have the right administrators who have it in their heart, that have compassion, and they want to teach and they want to improve the community, not just get the money. You know, back in the day, we had the YMCA, we had the Park District that was free, we had Boy Scouts, we had outlets for the young.
Hey, brother,
right now,
brother, do me a favor.
Yes,
I don't know if it's your phone or the young lady's phone. I hear some talking in the background, some TV playing or something. Can you like turn that down? I can hear it. The audience might not be able to hear, but it's kind of irritating to me. You gotta turn it off.
Not mine.
Young lady, is that you? Hello?
I don't think so. Hello?
Okay, now I don't hear it. Okay, go ahead, brother, and I'm going to let the young lady talk. Go ahead.
Okay. So, you know, when I was coming up, I had the Boy Scouts. My mother enrolled me in it. So that was a prevention right there, and it taught life skills. What has been taken away from the youth are the life skills.
Yes, that's not me.
So when nothing is taught, nothing is produced.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I think that's why I think some of the young, you know, the young youth right now are. When you look at the youth, what can you say that you've given to them for them to grow? What seed did you place within these young individuals where when they see you and they know they're doing something wrong, all of a sudden they humble themselves because of the respect that you have shown them, and now they're showing it back to you.
Okay. Hold that thought right there, brother. Go ahead, sister. What you got to say?
I was just going to say that I'm not really sure how we measure these prevention programs. You know, what is the measuring stick? I'm not sure how we even look, if there even any data to show if it's working or not. What I really think that we need to do is be, I don't know if you heard me, but I don't know how we measure these programs.
I heard you. I was going to say something. I want you to talk.
I think that we need to really go into this elementary schools. We need to go into the elementary schools. We need to talk to the youth at a young age. We need to explain to them the consequences of their actions if they choose, you know, the wrong path. We need to show them the right path. They need more mentorship. yeah, they need more mentorship. They need more big brother, big sister programs, and it needs to happen when they're young.
I
Because
agree.
oftentimes what I see, because I work with teenagers who are incarcerated, it's very hard to get them to change their way of thinking once they've been living a life for, so long. So what I would suggest is that we be more proactive and we reach these youth at a young age, because trying to get them to change their ways later is very hard. It doesn't happen overnight, because the person that we have in front of us, the youth who's out here committing carjacking, things like that, they didn't become this way overnight. It has taken years to create this type of child. So it's going to take years to break this child down.
Okay. Let me ask you a question, young lady, without revealing too much. From your participation observation, do you know of any success stories from like where you work at,
Oftentimes, no, because once they leave me, I'm
listening. Hello? I don't know what happened. Young lady.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead. You must have blanked out. Okay.
What I was saying was that I could say there have been a few, and the only reason that I'm aware of them is because the individual was someone who I knew, personally, and this young person ended up in the system. You can hear me?
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you another question. Okay. So I agree with what you just said with the solutions, that we don't know how to measure. When we measure something, we look at the fruits. The fruits. Okay.
Exactly.
That's how we're going to measure. But I think if I can go just before we go into the grammar schools, we should focus on the homes, because it starts at the home at first. It starts at home. Go ahead.
I do believe it starts at home, but oftentimes we can't go into the home. Oftentimes we don't know what's going on in the home. You get what I'm saying?
That's correct.
Right. It does start at home. We know it starts at home, but oftentimes we can't change that home environment that the kid is in. Oftentimes we don't really know what is going on.
That's correct.
Outcome in the kid. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying we need to reach them where we can, and that would be at the lower, grade level.
Okay. Well, let me ask you another question. What age that you think that we should focus on? Start if we, if money is going to be given out and all that, because I'm saying a lot of these listen to this, people. Let me just say this. This is white and black. It's clear as daylight. Now, the government will pump millions of dollars in violent prevention programs in the black community. Okay,
yes,
that's cool. But why can't they pump millions of dollars to create jobs in the black community? Now, which one we want, people?
How about they pump millions and millions of dollars into the education system? Because we have an unfair education system in Illinois. The way it's funded causes great disparity in schools.
Yes.
So we're creating an education to prison pipeline. We're not providing our young people with the education that they need to be successful in the job market.
Well, can I say something? I'm going to say this.
Yes.
It's going to be a little rough, but I'm going to say it. It's going to be a little rough. And Lord, hope I can say it properly. But why should they, when I say they, the dominant society, white supremacists, educate our children the same way they educate their own? Why should they? Because you got to remember,
it's called public education.
Yes.
Well, yeah, Brown versus Board of Education. It's called public education. And a good public education should not, where you live, should not determine the kind of public education you receive. Because you live in Inglewood or pattern and you have to go to the local elementary school, it shouldn't mean that you don't get the same type of technology or access to books and, music and art as you would if you live on a Gold Coast. So it's not that these white supremacists should teach our children. It's a public education, and it's unfair. And our kids start off behind the 8 ball.
Well, let me just say this. Let me just interject. So in the animal world, is the lion going to show the gazelle how to get away from him?
No.
He's not, because that is his lifeline. As long as he can feed off that gazelle, he's going to survive. He's going to prevail. So this is what we're looking at.
Every state does not operate in the way Illinois operates in terms of funding education. Some states do much better in funding equal education instead of funding education through property taxes based on where you live, how much money comes to school. So I know we get off topic, but that is a big issue, putting money into jobs, but you're not putting money into education. I just read an article that said Chicago is going to do away with the way they allow students to go to these selective enrollment schools such as Whitney Young and Walter Payton, because they see that youth of lower social economic status, they don't often get into these schools. But you only got a few that are worthy, that provide a good education, because they created a system as such here in Illinois. I have teens who come to school and come into the lockup, they don't know how to read.
Now, whose fault is that? Is that the government fault?
That starts with the mom. That starts with the mom. Okay?
Okay.
That starts at home. But guess what? The system is pushing these kids through. How did you end up in high school with can't?
Well, you got to remember,
I have to say, it just don't start with the mom now. It starts with both parents. Because I'm a father too.
You're right.
So,
father, mom, guardian, whomever is in the house.
So what has happened is that the system is basically taking the discipline out of the parents' hands. So basically what it is saying is that you can discipline your child, but once your child comes into the street, I can kill your child.
You can discipline your child. You just can't leave no marks on your child. See, don't get that confused, brother.
Your child. Yes, you
You
can.
can. You
can.
Yes, you can, brother. You can discipline your child. You can discipline your child.
Totally.
The trap is,
I'm with that.
Hold on. The catch is, if you leave a mark, then that's when the system come in and play. They're gonna make money off your child and break up the family. So that you can. So we don't want to drop that seed in these mothers, because they're using that excuse not to discipline their children. So mothers are.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it depends on just the kind of mother and the type of, whether they choose to discipline or not. I mean, there is such a thing as abuse. We know that. But yes. I do think that you should be able to discipline your child. And it's not always physical to discipline your child, but sometimes I believe that you have to. You may have to be physical, but that shouldn't be the first option.
Well, I mean,
but I think 3rd grade is a good grade to go into the school system.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Let me just say this, sister, and no disrespect, you sound like you're an educator. Let me say this. Look at all the black people that have doctorate degrees, PhDs, masters, bachelors, associates, and look at our plight, look at our condition. Now, you have some of you women are very educated. Matter of fact, y'all got it going on, if I may use that term. I ain't no hater, I'm a congratulator. And look at our situation. Look at our situation,
it's
sister.
Unfortunate. Yes, you are absolutely right. I'm a product of Chicago Public Schools, and I grew up in what is known as Bronzeville now, but the low end. So I've seen a lot in my life, but I chose to, overcome many challenges and obstacles. Beautiful. And I work with the youth who most of the crimes in Chicago, if the kid has been arrested for anything in Cook County, I'm working with them, whether they're accused of kidnapping, murder, robbery, carjacking, all that. What I realize is that oftentimes when they come in there, You know,
It's too late.
they can be a kid. I see the kid in them. I see the potential in them. When they are in their environment, they become this other person because they're around their peers, and oftentimes they don't see a way out. And I'm not making excuses for them, but I see the potential in them. But they don't have, and they sometimes they could often confide in me about their household and the neighborhood and what's going on. And sometimes I feel like you never had a chance. But I often tell them, I don't care where you come from, don't make excuses. If you want to get out your circumstances, you have to rise above and put in as much effort as you can to be successful in life, because you can.
Okay, let me say something, sister, with that. And I agree with that. I'm a product of Chicago Public School, too, as well. About time they get to you, sister. And I'm not laughing, but it's almost too late. It's like it's in the ninth. It's like you went to school for 8 years. Now you trying to catch up with 8 years worth of material in 3 months. It's just almost it's a rare. But we have to remember. You said it earlier. The prison, the school, the pipeline, crime, violence is a $1 billion industry. A $1 billion industry. You know how much when one juvenile commit a crime, it's a lot of money tied to that one juvenile. A lot of people make money.
Absolutely.
So, especially in our community, you know, it's like crime is fanned. You know, it never goes out. It's like you have a fire and you just keep putting air to it, and it keep getting larger and larger.
Like yes,
right.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate.
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead, brother.
Now, we have all these listeners that are listening and making comments. What if every listener, every homeowner, because I'm in the Pullman area. I grew up in Inglewood, but I'm in the Pullman area.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm around it. So every homeowner add an extra $20. Do you think that we can start changing the narrative in our community? Because we can all sit up and point fingers. But what can we do for ourselves?
Yes, I agree with you, brother. It's first of all, the teaching is more valuable than the money. Okay, because
that's right.
I mean, listen, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but if you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So.
Values. So
hold on, brothers and sisters. Another caller. Hold on. Okay, brother, I'm finna merge you in, okay? Don, I'm okay, merge you in. All right. Okay, we got another guest. Just hold on, brother Don. Let me just say this. We have to teach, brother. That's the first thing, man. We have to teach. Because without the teaching, see, it's just like this. If you don't know how to unloosen a screw or a nut or something, that means you have to ask somebody or you have to pay somebody to do it. Why you think education is so valuable in this society? Because if you don't know, when I say education, not just pre-do 8th and all that, but period, knowing things. We have to know things, brother. We have to put things in play. You know, we do a lot of things in the blind because we don't know. We really don't know. I'll give you an example. I'm going to give you an example, something that's real simple, and it's still on the subject. You got, when your vehicle get repossessed, now, they cannot repossess your vehicle if you in the vehicle or if you standing by your vehicle. They can't do it. But people don't know the law. They don't know it. You know, if you don't know it, you just don't know it. Just like when the cops pull somebody over, some cops, they just make up laws. Give you another example. My scanner. They were saying you can't have a police scanner. You can't. I said, first of all, officer. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had hit y'all low. I'm sorry. Y'all back. Let me just say this. I'm gonna let y'all talk. I said this is a scanner, which is legal. Only time a scanner is not legal is when you committing a crime with it. That's the only time, people. But they tell us in the black community it's illegal to have a scanner. So you have to know. You have to know these things, people. You have to learn how to read and not read, but comprehend. I want to let Brother Donald just came in. Here's a brother that lost a teenager, his teenage son, to gun violence here in the city of Chicago. He's a personal friend of mine. I've been knowing him over 30 years. I don't know what he's about to say, but I want to hear it. Come on, Brother Donald. Talk to us.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I was mainly listening to all the good ideas that everybody is saying about the violence prevention. One thing we got to remember, there's some good points and some bad points. The good points was violence prevention do start at home with the mother or the father. Okay? But when we get all these different organizations that say that they think that they got the right method to try to push their violence prevention, it's not really working. You know, we got to look what's going best for the community. We don't need no more basketball courts. We don't need no more pop-up center here and there. What we need is a better laws to stop our youth from doing what they want to do. It was the best thing that they did was to do criminal reform. But in doing the criminal reform, they left loopholes in there, which is being took advantage of. Now, I don't advocate for nobody to be locked up, but I do advocate for the crime to fit the punishment.
Okay, let me say this, Brother Donald. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead. Go, sister. Go ahead.
Okay, what I was going to say is that I think we need more centers. I do think we need more after-school programs in our communities. We need more activities. I do think that because the kids often don't have anything to do in an idle mind devil's workshop. What I do agree with you is that there have been some changes in the law, and I've witnessed young people commit certain crimes and going home for those crimes and not being taught a lesson. Not saying that you have to go to jail for a year, but you have a gun, you carjack somebody, you're going home probably in a week, probably in 30 days, you're going home over and over again. And I often think the public is unaware of this. Like, the public doesn't know you got carjacked. The person probably carjacked you. If he's a juvenile, he's probably back on the street. Before the pen drive, it's his first time. And even if it's the second time, maybe after a week, he's back on the street. So I'm not an advocate for locking people up and throwing away the key, but even young people know, and they often tell me, they know that they're getting away with it most times. They're going to get away with it. They're going to go home. So there's no deterrent until they actually, but I tell them, I said, the system is designed for you to think there are no consequences, so that when you continue to go into the street and next thing you know, that carjacking turns into a murder or attempted murder, now they have you. And you actually juveniles just 50 years or 40 years.
Somebody moving around making a lot of noise. Somebody got to watch you.
So what I'm saying is that the system is often designed for them to think that there are no consequences so that they can continue and they up in the ante until they do something where they have them and they're not getting out for many, many years. To me, that's by design. Thank
you. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I agree with Brother Donald.
And I believe that also.
That's what I'm talking about, because all they're doing is keeping a record of every youth, what they're doing. They're setting the stage. Youngsters, if you're listening or you're going to listen to this live, I guarantee you by the time you get 18, they're going to throw everything at you. Well, you carjack at age 11 and 12 and 13, armed robbery, retail theft. They're going to, one thing about this system, they do a background check on you, dead or alive. If the police shoot and kill somebody, they're going to do a background check on you, see what type of person. Yes, I've seen it happen, people. I have seen them try.
What's the word? Habitual?
Yeah. I've seen them try a dead man, a man that's dead. But you put him on trial. That's terrible, ain't it? But it's.
You know, let me say this, Marty.
Go ahead.
Marty. See, that falls into what the young lady said of why I'm trying to push to get everything amended. Because we do need to close the loophole. So hopefully if we change the loophole, that'll help with the violence prevention. We got to change the laws. Along with the laws, then what else we got to cut? We got to cut these big so-called organizations out. TAS, ADS McKinley. There's different organizations that is giving money to say that they doing back into our community, and they not.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. You said something that it kind of bothered me a little bit, Brother Donald. You
Go
said
ahead.
we don't need no more basketball courts. I disagree with that. We do need more. We do need it help us. I know everybody can't be a professional ball player, but it does help. It does help. I think so.
I agree.
Well,
We
you
need
know,
as
well,
many
that's
programs as
what,
we can.
let me say this. You're right, Marty. I shouldn't have said it. What I mean is that, you know, not every area needs, okay, okay, if we put a basketball court down, that's going to calm them down. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
You're going to have to maybe if we get some of these professional basketball players who come from the area, come back and work with them, maybe to help to show the structure.
Yeah, I agree.
What I think is that for the area, say for instance, we have kids in the area, 11-year-old, sorry, 12-year-old. They want to play basketball. They want to play football, whatever sport it is, and they don't have access. If you put access in the neighborhood, let's say a basketball court, we often know that it draws, depending on the neighborhood, it may draw some speedy characters to the court. You know, that's where we need the men in the community. You need to be out there on that around the basketball court, monitoring the community, making sure. I mean, you may have to put your life on the line. Even the women, you may have to put your life on the line. But to allow the kids who want to play basketball, you may have to be out there and be security and not have look to the police.
But
to,
see,
come after the fact.
Let me hold on, sis. Let me say something. No disrespect to you. Now, like you just said, we need the men, not only on the basketball court, we need them in the homes first. We need them in the home. See, a lot of women don't want no man in the home. Not no dominant man, no alpha. They want a man who they can
I don't
tell
know
what to
about
do.
that.
I'm just telling you.
And I'm gonna say this, Martin.
I know. I'm saying.
Say this that we have, I think, black women, because for me, mine, I had to learn. My man, the head, he's the king. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm more than willing to follow him. Okay.
Well,
He
okay.
is a man.
All
I
right.
had to learn that, Martin.
Okay.
But what I
Hey,
will
Marty,
say is
thanks
that
for
I
having
think,
me. I'm going to drop off. You know,
Okay.
continue to watch,
Okay,
right?
Brother Donald.
All right.
Okay.
All right, y'all be safe.
All right.
I think that
Well,
most black women do want to show men, but if you've been single for so long and you have to do things on your own, then you forget that the man is the man.
Well, first,
I also have to kind of disagree with that a little bit, you know, because some, and I'm saying some females may not want that male to come in and chastise the young man, but as a man, and you show that you've been productive, you're educated, you're in the community, you're financially stable, you God-fearing, or whatever the case may be. But when you go to put down rules and regulations and structure, you get pushback from the young man, which upsets the parent, which upsets the household. Now, granted, a woman is going to know if this man is decent or not. But when it comes down to chastising that young man, now it's a problem. So I think when we as a couple can understand where we need to set the boundaries at and how we can grow, that household will never stand. That's just my take on it, and that's my take on it.
well, let me just say it. The sister said she had to learn. There's a lot of sisters out there have to learn because who suffers? It's the children at the end of the day. I mean, a woman have a choice to be independent. That's her prerogative, if I may say. That's her choice. She have that right if she want to be single, independent. But I say, well, what about your children? What about them? Are they being cheated or robbed? Is it about you or is it about the children? Now, as parents, we are supposed to make sacrifices for our children. Our children are our best investment in life. Not a car, not a home, none of that is our children because they represent us when we send them out in the world. Because most of the time, and I'm quite sure the sister can agree with me. When she see these little criminals come into the system, first thing in her mind, probably, what type of parents do he have? You know, and I say the same thing when I see.
That's the question.
I mean, you know, not judging, but I am judging, if I may say. You know, what type of parents or home did he or she come from? Because it's not just the little guys, it's the little girls too, because they driving these getaway cars, they driving these drive-by cars, they carjacking as well, and they are shooting people too as well. So it's not just.
And you have to.
Go ahead, brother.
And that's totally correct. I'm gonna give you my example. My daughter right now, she's 21. Last year, she decided that she wanted to be growner than the house rules. Okay, you gonna go? You go ahead, you go. Gone for 2 weeks. I stayed in contact with her. I went and picked her up one time because I wanted to see physically, hey, what do we look like? What are we doing? And I can tell she was not used to that type of lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But when she came back, she thought that she's going to pick up where she left off at. My words were exactly, I'm not telling you to go. I'm not telling you to stay. But that BS is not going to be accepted here.
Mm.
So guess
And
what?
honestly, go ahead. Sorry.
She straightened up and she's here.
We need more men like you in the household because oftentimes the male residents that I work with, they tend to think they run the household, that they're the man because there is no man. And if there is a man present, there often is a battle. What I notice is that their moms often allow them to get away with a lot. And there are no rules in the household. They come in and out and do what they please. And I'm like, well, your mother needs to put you out of her house. I'm just being honest because if you're bringing guns in and you're doing what you want to do in your house, you shouldn't be in that household. But from what I hear is that my mom not going to put me out. She's going to be worried too much something going to happen to me in the street, you know? So they use that as a way to do what they want to do because they know their mothers fear them being in the community and possibly get shot.
And by right, the mother is going to worry about her child, whether it's a son or a daughter.
Absolutely.
And that is the most hurtful thing, knowing that you just put your child out, not knowing where your child is sleeping and wanting to bring his child back home.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. What if you have four in the house? One rotten to the core. Do you sacrifice one and keep the three, or let the bad one corrupt all the rest of them? It's just food for thought. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm a parent, and also I'm a grandparent. You know, so what do you do in that situation, though? Because
I think what he said was absolutely the right thing to do. I love you, and I hate to see you go, but you cannot say and do what you want to do.
Because you have to think, that's right. That's right. Ma'am, you are 100% right. I cannot let you run my house. I can't. Because if you run my house, then that means you are running everyone into the ground.
Absolutely.
Now, like I used to coach high school football, and I would tell these young guys, don't act like you're unruly. Because if you don't follow rules at home, you get put out. You don't follow rules at school, you get put out. You don't follow rules in jail, they beat you. You don't follow rules on the job, they fire you. You don't follow rules in the street, they kill you. So you are going to follow the rules. But you're going to pick where you follow them at.
Right, and my thing is, if you don't teach your children to follow the rules in the house, then you're setting them up for failure because there are rules in every part of life.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that, brother. You said that. That was great. That was great. I like that. I've never heard it that way, but I like that. I'm gonna have to use that one.
I
Well,
mean,
Martin, you all, I'm going to have to let you all go.
Okay, thank you so much for calling in.
Happy to be a part of this conversation. I follow you. I love you. Thanks. Continue doing what you're doing, helping the
Likewise.
community and being out there.
All right,
All
thank
right,
you
ma'am,
so much.
you have a blessed evening, ma'am.
All right.
You too, sir. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. I mean, Marty, we have to have discipline.
Yes, I agree.
You know, I grew up in a one-parent home.
Mhm.
My mother was the judge, the jury, and the executioner. I never understood, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I told my mother this. I thought she was the meanest person in the world. But guess what? I don't have a criminal record. I'm employed. I've raised both my daughters. I'm employed. I give back to the community. These are the things that we have to do. And I tell my daughter, my youngest one that's here,
Mm-hmm.
you may not like what I'm saying, you may not understand, but everything I tell you, I can back it up by showing you. And we have to lead by example. And sometimes parents, we have to make hard decisions. And it's one of the hardest things that if you make that decision and it doesn't go your way and something happens, it will possibly run you into the grave.
Well, you know what? I have to say this, brother. It's like a ship on the ocean. And if you have a hole inside of your ship and it's sinking the ship, what do? You plug that hole up. Then another one. You got to keep plugging. If someone's going to bring the household down, you have to let them go. You have to let them go. You have to find some. They got to go. They got to go. There's no need for the whole ship going down. There's no need. There's no need. You know, listen, the brother said we need law. Maybe the laws would help us. But, I mean, a stiffer penalty, like I'm not for just jail, throw away the key, lock them up, beat. I don't have that mentality. But I tell you one thing, as long as this earth is in operation, this world in operation, people are always going to kill each other, no matter what. No matter what. We won't stop there. There's no law that we can lay down, a legislative law here in the United States that's going to stop men from killing each other or women. It's not going to happen. Got another caller. Hold on, brother. They call her. I'm sorry, caller. Hold on, Gary. Where you calling from, caller?
It's Oklahoma. This D, Dimitri.
Okay, hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. All right, go ahead, brother D. Go ahead and say something. I'm gonna stop, submit, and let you talk. The new caller, go ahead.
How y'all doing this evening?
Good.
Good evening.
Oh, I think I turned my Facebook down. You don't hear no echo.
No, I don't hear no echo. You good.
Okay. My thing with this, man, I was raised by my mother and grandma, man, and I was brought up in the church. But as I got older, I made mistakes, but I still had that value. That Holy Spirit was still with me, man. I just wouldn't do certain things. So I'm looking at our children need discipline, man. They need it, you know, and it may be two parents in the household, but what is the child's decision once they grow up and go out? Are they gonna continue to follow the what their parents have taught them? It may be a single father, it may be a single mother, but you know, to me it takes two, you know, and it don't have to take two, but you may have a woman raising children, or you may have a male raising children. But if we doing the best we can and discipline them, getting them involved in different activities, and maybe church if people believe in church, or just something to keep the kids active, then it's up to them once they reach that certain age. Once they reach the age of accountability, it's up to them. Well, my mother taught me not to rob and steal, but when I get accountability, I'm going to go out here and rob and steal and kill somebody? I mean, that's that's my view of it. You know, and I'm just putting it there as I had to deal with that with my wife now. I don't say stepson. He's our son. He's 22 years old. We keep him in prayer. He's struggling, but we raised him the best that we can be.
That's all you can
So
do,
I
brother.
Yeah.
That's all you
had
could do.
to-
I mean, bro, let me say something. When you give your best, that's all you could do. That's
know.
all you could do. You can't harp on yourself. Well, what did I go wrong?
Mhm.
You can have a true conscience. Hey, I clothed you, I fed you, I taught you, I lived right before you, and you decided to go this other route. I did what I could, and no parent. Let me say this. This is any parent greatest nightmare. We still talking about prevention. To raise a son or a daughter for 18 years, instilling all them, and a demon come along in one day and destroy everything that took you 18 years to put in them. It can happen. It can happen, brother. You know, I was in the street, you was in the street, the other brother just talking, so we know what it can happen. All that good church teaching, all that home parenting and all that, it seems like it goes out the window. It goes out the window when you get in these streets.
You
And
know what? That's true.
these influences
That
are
is
so
true.
powerful. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
And let me tell you this. As parents, and I'm asking every one of us that are on this line tonight, do we really look at our children and say, you know what, I'm starting to see something? Not that when it happens, well, I didn't know, but the signs were already there. Can we honestly say, you know what, something ain't right about what's going on?
Stop
I
right
need
there,
to
brother.
pay more attention.
Stop right there. Hold that thought. I'm going to let one person in, then you can come on, continue. Caller, where you calling from?
Oh man, Southside Chicago.
Okay, hold on, brother. Hold on, I'm trying to merge us in. Okay, I got a new brother. Go ahead, brother that was talking. The last brother, go ahead. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me put it on thing again. All right, go ahead, brother. Hold on. Now, yeah, go ahead. I hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. We have to address the situations when we start noticing them. Give you another example. My daughter decides, hey, I'm going to start spending the night over my cousin's house. It happened about 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm noticing you all were not that close back then. So you got one time to be wrong, and everybody's going to know about it. I can ride over there and not see the vehicle there, and you'll never know because I had an idea. 3 weeks later, she was in an accident, supposedly to be over her cousin's house.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I'm saying, that sometimes we see the signs and we don't address it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So when it happens, now I have to discipline you, because when I gave you the sign at the beginning, you took it as a joke. How many of us can say that we really do that without having an attitude?
Right. Well, you know, when I was in the street gang, our thing was we teach those that don't know and discipline those that do know. So you get your warning, you let you know, hey, we don't do this, bro. We don't do this, sister. Now you continue to go on and defiant, so you can't say that you don't know. You didn't know. But we know you know now, and now you got to take this punishment that we about to inflict on you. That's in the street. That's what we did, you know, in the street gang. So that's what we did. So that's what we did. You know, punishment. You know, it has to. We need punishment. We need it. We definitely need it. Go ahead.
So where's the discipline at within the parents? Are the parents disciplined?
Yeah.
You know what? I think the I'm not saying all parents, but the parents buy their children love now. You see, I grew up, man. I had food, I had clothes, I had a shelter. So if my parents, my granny and mom told me, look, I may wanted something and I couldn't have it. Oh, I didn't have a fit. I was content with what I had. I was raised that way. And I'm raised that way now when I'm 56 years old. But I put my family first. I have the youngest in the household now. He's 17. I put myself last. I take care of the household. So the thing is with that, I think a lot of these youth, they buy their kids. Oh, give them this, give them that, give them Jordan, give them PlayStation. But if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, why should they be rewarded? They shouldn't be
Exactly.
rewarded.
All right, brother. I'm gonna let the other brother come in and talk, brother. But just before you say something, let me just say this. I always say, often on my life, those that follow me know I say, instead of buying your sons and daughters everything that you didn't have, you need to teach them everything that you didn't know. Let me say that again.
Facts.
Instead of buying your little ones that you love everything that you didn't have coming up, you need to teach them everything that you didn't know. And I guarantee you, once you arm them with the necessary information, they'll be all right. Go ahead, brother. Just the last caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, them was facts, my brother. So I was just gonna say, you were saying about do the violence prevention programs help? I would say to a degree they help because it employs some brothers that do have influence in certain situations by them being employed in the presence that maybe they're able to give a couple inspiring words to prevent some chaos. But holistically, it can never work. You know, because we got to go to the root. So the root is when you plant a flower, you got to plant the seed. It got to come from good soil, and the soil is the culture. Okay, so with coming with when like the brother was saying, I can reward my children with video games, gym shows. All this is, in my opinion, in fact, is white culture. You rewarded them in something that's not helping them to understand their culture, which give them value to know how to respect their brothers and sisters, their elders, and it takes a village to raise a child. So we would know when you let your daughter go somewhere else with her friends, you know, it's a whole village, a tribe of people that has the same understanding as you. If they see her doing something that's not right, they will say something.
Oh, wait, let me ask you.
Like that.
Let me ask you a question, brother. Now, don't forget, not only that we living in a white culture, we speaking the white culture language too. So we got to remember that. Even though I know you got a great plan, and you always say if you get on here, I have no problem with that. But we speak white language because we wasn't brought when our ancestors, those that was brought over here. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Let me hold that thought. Hold on, Carl. I'm going to merge you in, bro. Hold on. Merge him in. Okay, hold on, brothers. I'm going to just say that I'm going to let my brother who I was just talking, let him talk again. Now,
All right.
Now, we can't expect little children to act like adults. We can't expect that. I mean, that's logic. That's just logic.
Correct.
We can't throw no baby a steak, a porterhouse steak. The baby ain't number 1 or 2 years old, barely got teeth. You know, we can't do
Correct.
that. So we have to purge ourselves from what I'm still on the same line with you, brother, from things that we've been taught, like you said, in good soil, We have to let our little ones know that, hey, having a video game is not wise. Like the older brother said, He thought his mother was the meanest woman in the world until he got older. He understood. He understood. We as parents, we have to lead by example, because most of the time, our children are not going to do what we say. They're going to do what they see us do. That's what they're going to do. Go ahead, my brother, my 24 plan brother. Go ahead. I just wanted to say that. I didn't want to cut you off.
No fact. But everything is scientific, because the parents, the children want to be like their father.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But if they don't see that, they not see the child whole objective is to manipulate the parents to get what the child wants.
Yes.
Because the child doesn't have the ability to get it on its own. Okay? So I see this all the time. I see a lot of single parents are irritated because they're so independent. They don't have time to do everything for the child and also be at peace with themselves. It's impossible.
Let me say this to you, brother, too. Not to you, to everybody. Any woman that call themselves independent and you're receiving government assistance, government housing, you're not independent. I'm sorry. Independent mean you out there working on your own and you make it your way. You working, you got your own apartment. That's independent. Not you getting help from the government. The government is basically paying you to put the man out, to be in control. I got to say it, brother. I don't want to fight with these women, but I got to say it. I got to say it.
But that's called white culture.
Yes.
Because now when a woman says she's independent, she's distributing white culture to the child. Because that's not black culture. That's not indigenous culture. That's not the soil that needs the child, because now the child can play on this manipulation now because you started that.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said, somebody said, brother, it's not called independent. It's called the mom being a single parent. Therefore, the mom is choose and forced to be independent. She's not married. Okay, go. I just want somebody said it in the comments.
Okay. Now I'm gonna get a little deeper on
brother.
how we're not taught on sex education, because the human body sexual organs have two functions. One is producing children, and then one is sexual regeneration. So, which creates spirituality. Because if you can ejaculate semen out of you and create a baby, what happens if that don't come out of you and is able to go reabsorb those vitamins, minerals, and hormones, go up your adrenals, your kidneys, up into your pituitary gland, so you can get enlightenment, you can get spirituality, and you don't have to ejaculate in a woman when you're getting intimate with them. You can use it as a way to connect to God, because we did use sex to connect to God. So since slavery taught us to only how to ejaculate in each other, it separate us to produce children. So are we even using that in the correct way?
Well, let me say this. I'm going to let Brother Chris talk, brother. Now, I was taught, too, just from an Afro point of view, that January is not is not New Year's. January is really March, the new beginning, spring, life. January is like when it's harsh, huh?
That's white culture now. Now you're talking black culture now.
Right, I know. You know I know, brother. Hey,
season.
That's right. Let me let the other last caller in the comment. I'll let you come back.
Okay.
Come on, brother Chris. Go ahead. I just want to be fair.
Hey, what was the question again? As far as like, does the rehabilitation centers work? What was your question?
Okay. Well, does these violence prevention programs really work? Now, let me add on a little bit on that too. Why they sending billions of dollars into black communities for violent prevention? Why can't they pump millions of dollars into self-employment and all that, into the community, jobs, pump that into jobs, build an economy right in the black community, but they want to give us violent prevention money? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think it worked, because a lot of people, they don't implement it. and they're not taught to implement things. It starts in the household. Once again, it starts at an early age. If you're not programmed to implement certain things in your life, you're going to go on through life without implementing anything good, anything a person have to work for. If you're not built from that type of grade, you're not going to go through with that, man. They'll fall victim to these streets because that's what they was taught. Y'all hit that right on the head when you said that kids don't do what you say, they do what you do. They watch you. Kids, they just like little sponges and magnets. They soak up everything you do.
That is from a young age.
Mm-hmm.
From a young age, they do. But let me throw this out here, Marty, and I'm gonna let it go.
Go ahead.
You
I
are
noticed that.
right, brother. Thank you, Martin.
Okay, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Right.
Go ahead. Good talk. Go ahead.
You know, we have pacified our children.
Yes.
What if we decide to say, you know what? I'm not going to buy my kid no $300 pair of gym shoes, a pair of Nikes. Let me go buy 2 shares of Nike stock, and every month put in $20, dollar cost average, to show our children that, hey, I can do better. You don't have to always wear what you are. Let's give them a start. Let's give them a future, because I think a lot of it, some of it has to do with finances.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need to take your child away from the environment. You know, take them on a vacation, which sometimes we don't get a chance to do. Let them see something different. We can't always take a vacation and still stay in the house.
That's true, brother.
Let's start with our finances also.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I will also interject. You can have all the money in the world, but without culture, you will kill yourself faster, or put yourself or create more destruction with this financial abundance, but have no connection to the ways of what connects us, behavior-wise, morality, culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand that it don't matter how much money you got if you still gonna act savage with it. Or now, since I got a gold chain, I got money, I feel like I'm bigger than my brother. You see what I'm saying? It's like,
oh, yeah.
I get it.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. It has to be a balance, and you are 100% correct.
Because, like, when you go back in the day, our white culture is about what you own as an individual. Black indigenous culture is about how big your tribe is, determine how much wealth you had, how much land you have, how big you was as a family. That was wealth.
That's
you
right.
see, since now we're not even creating children anymore, it's about what I have, and that's why we out here shooting and killing each other and taking from each other. When we come from a culture, we can't take from each other because it's ours. You see, our culture is about ideas. Our culture is, okay, this brother got an idea. He might have got the knowledge. Okay, I got the finances. That's yin and yang. Let's do it. We can break it down evenly. I don't care how much money I got that I got to take from it. That's white culture. Our culture is, we need to figure out how we're going to be the best humans. That's our culture. You see, white culture is, I need to make a bigger profit off you. That's white culture. So no matter, so everything we doing is facilitating white culture, and it's still separating our spirits from each other.
And
because we don't know our culture.
You saying that, brother, too, and we born in a system. This is the only system that we know, and we don't realize that. That's all we know. We know just like black people. You got some black people here in the city of Chicago never been downtown, really. I mean, to really enjoy downtown. Seriously, they never been out of town. All they know is survival, try to get theirs, come up on the leg. And I understand that it has its place. They don't notice the trees in their community. They don't notice all the trash around them in their community. They don't notice nothing but survival, how to get some money. Rob, steal, some of them. Not all of us now. that's not out there robbing, stealing. So we have to learn. We have to come up. We have to, brother. If I think we have to unlearn to relearn.
Yes.
Let me say that. That's what we have to do, because
George Washington Carver said it.
yeah, because a lot of us, I'm gonna let y'all. A lot of us, we figure, which is a good thing. We get our wife and we get a home, a house. We educated, and that's it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. I already said all this education that we have, we still have a problem. We still have a problem. Most black people that I talk to personally, they talk about finance. We need money because money is right up there with oxygen. But we need power too, brother, and culture. Like you said, we need that. We need to know who we are and what is our culture.
Correct.
We need to know that. Go ahead.
Correct. We can't survive in integration without culture. Look at the Chinese. Look at every other nation of people that come over here. They bring their food with them. They bring their mindset with them. Then they come over here to get money. And everybody get money off the Negro, off the black person here with no culture. Everybody make money off them. So what we need to realize is it's not in their interest for us to find our culture. Because if we figure out who we are, they stop making money.
That's right.
Yeah, because guess what? Listen, New Year's come around. Next day we broke. All the foreigners, they got the bag. Valentine's come around. Here we buying out. We broke. The next day, the foreigners got the bag. I'm telling you, Easter come around. We buying eggs and all that. They go home with the bag. All of it. I mean, it's just like Christmas. They go home with the bag, and we broke. We got to wait to our taxes. I'm preaching now. Come on now. Why is it every holiday come around? I'm still talking about violence prevention. We rob and steal, kill just to buy our children to have a good Christmas, as we call it.
Man. Yes, sir.
We blowing each other brains out. We snatching and grabbing and taking penitentiary chances just to make our girl happy and our babies. Come on, people.
Which is modern slavery.
That's all
when you
what
go
it
to
is.
that penitentiary, that's modern day slavery, because now you're manufacturing products for free, and you're away from your family. So when you go to a gas station, there's nothing in that gas station that make you intelligent. There's nothing in that gas station that you can buy that's gonna help you be healthy. Everything that you buy in that gas station make you have mood swings, more angry, and you disconnect from your people because it's not real.
It's food like
and
substance.
And who's getting rich off of it?
Yep, they are. They are getting rich off of it. And I always say, how can a people come here that can't speak the language? Now, if they can't speak it, that means they can't write it or read it, but they know how to get them dollars out of our pockets. Something's wrong. And here we are. We have PhDs. We have masters. We have bachelors. We have associates. And we have skill sets. But we can't seem like to get ahead. Something is just not right. And don't get me wrong, they got help because they got programs set up for them when they come in this country. This is where you're going to live here. This is where you're going to go to make your money in this particular area. Now, don't mingle with them. Be nice. Get their money. But when you at the end of the day, go home. You know, and they have classes. I'm just sorry. I don't mean to get off the top, but it's still on the topic.
No, you're doing it right because at the end of the day, it's only one solution that get us out of our problems. It's nothing else over this. It's called family. The government can't do nothing about it because the government want to be your mom and your daddy. So when the government is your mom and your daddy, the family broken up. Because now you got independent women. Mm-hmm. You got men in jail. You got child out here in
history. Yeah, that's been since in the 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
You know what, Martin? I like to say this, man. If the government implemented a program that will benefit the black women, if they kept a man in the house, man, they probably try to get 5 or 6 of them in the house, man.
Mm.
But that don't even sound right because the government is not against the unity of a black family. See, we got to put this in proper perspective. We wishing too much. if you learn history, then you're going to know the truth. Because the thing about everybody else, they don't change. We have the highest melanin, so we adapt. Everybody else don't. So guess what? They stay the same.
Yeah. And you
It's
know
like-
what? Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So it's the only solution is family. If family was together, the child wouldn't be out there doing what he's doing.
And I once again I say this: the government do not want the black family. They don't. They
They
don't
get
want
rich
that.
off of it.
They don't want it.
Let me say this, brother Chris. For you can say, you can talk out of talk. You know how much money the government makes off me if I go out there and commit a crime and get caught? They make a lot of money off me. One black man make millions of dollars off committing a crime and getting caught. Trust me. Now, I'm not making money for black folks. I'm making money for the dominant society. And I tell people, we still have the same relationship. Now, do I hate white people? No, sir. I don't hate no people. Not at all. This is not a hate speech. Not at all. Trust me.
Correct.
Now, if a white person can't understand that I've been taught wrong and I want to unlearn from what he taught me, and if he don't want to be my friend no more, what could I do? I'm not going to beg him. I'm not going to beg him. I'm loving on myself. Go ahead, somebody.
Well, that's just like I mentioned about the two constitutions that were written. You know, the first one was not written for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It was for life, liberty, and the pursuit of property. Because the foreigners were coming over, and they were coming over for land. And I mentioned that to one of my coworkers, who's not the same ethnicity that I am. And I told him point blank, the Constitution needs to be rewritten.
Yes.
And he flat out told me, no, it doesn't. Because in his mind, if it's rewritten, they're going to lose something.
Of course.
Correct.
So,
but look at it. You being emotional though. He being logical. Logical, that don't make sense. Emotionally, you trying to vouch. No, you once you know what a turtle is, don't hate the turtle for being a turtle. It's a turtle.
that's right.
Hey, brother, that makes sense.
We too emotional. We need to be logical and just understand what it is and just be black. And you ain't got to be apologetic about nothing. Just be black. But first you got to learn what it is.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Because a
that's
white
true.
person definitely can't teach you what it is. And you can't
Don't
get a
want to.
PhD or a master to learn what it is.
Well, let me just say
'Cause
this,
that
people.
system don't teach you.
Let me just say this overall. Once we realize that we have been colonized or conquered, we are a conquered people. Remember that, people. Only time we equal is when we pay our taxes. We equal with them. They want us to be one or ready for us to go to war. That's it. That's it. That's it. We are a conquered people. We're not going to pray our way out of this. It's just not going to happen. We're not going to make them feel guilty for what they've done to us. Listen, if I go out there and shoot somebody, I got to think it first. People behave, they act out what they're thinking. Let me say that
Correct.
again. Animals act out the way they think. If an animal bites you, he was thinking bite you. If an animal go eat, he was thinking to eat. If an animal go use the, we call it the washroom, boo-boo, whatever, urinate, that's what they was thinking. So people act out the way they think. That's point. That's logic, brother. I'm not getting emotional. That's pure logic.
And so we got to realize is they don't have enough melon to be emotional.
Brother,
They don't
listen.
have a full range of emotions
Well,
like we do.
well, let me just say
They
this.
can't smell everything like we can.
Hold on,
they
brother.
can't see a full range of colors like we can.
Hold that thought, brother. I'm gonna let y'all another caller come in. Hold on. Okay, caller, hold on. I'm gonna merge you in. Okay, to the brother said that they don't have melanin. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
And I'm back. Yeah. So knowledge is power. And so what we need to realize is as we are suffering from post-slavery syndrome, which we've been seasoned So the Europeans are suffering from cave trauma. So they come from caves. So that's like you going to jail. You go to solitary confinement for 3, 4, 5 months or a year. You don't think you need to come out with a treatment? You see what I'm saying? And so we're dealing with a lot of sick people on both sides. You got a lot of black mentally ill people and a lot of white people. You just like on this St. Patrick's thing. You don't think all that alcohol they drunk make them crazy? You don't think that's sick? You see what I'm saying? But it's on both sides. Ain't just them. The whole world is
Right.
have mental diseases.
All right, brother.
But we have to acknowledge we all have problems.
Brother, listen. Whether they have enough melanin in their skin or not, they don't show no emotions when it comes to us. But go ahead, brother.
Okay, then.
Last caller.
Come on, man.
Last caller. Go ahead, last caller. Talk. One just called in.
It's on me.
Yeah, it's on you. Go ahead, sir.
What's happening tonight? I want to answer the question. I'm going to try to be brief and straight to the point from my perspective. So the question is, do violence prevention programs work?
Yes.
I'm going to say no. And I say that because I have helped develop them and I've worked in them. I've seen them on the outside looking in, and I really don't think that they work. One of the reasons is there's more money behind putting black people in jail versus helping them. So you're trying to counter something that's a massive system. So, it's just more money to house blacks in jails and things like that and arrest them. It's just more money. It's just big business. And so, in essence, if you stop violence, you stop a lot of money. And we know certain people are not going to have that. You need a specific amount of people, a minimum amount of people in the jail system to keep that money going. So, with just this playing the money game, it just don't work. When you do have some youth that come to a violence prevention program, I think there's so much effort on the front end just to recruit them, because a lot of times we don't trust and think that they're actually going to participate. And then when they do come in, I don't think the people who run most of these violence prevention programs have a kind of a part B. Okay, now what? Now you brought us in. Now what do you have to give us? And a lot of these programs have a limited capacity as to what they can do with the youth. They're not hiring them to some high quality, high paying jobs. There's no legitimate alternative given to these kids. And so, again, there's so much effort on the front end just to recruit them, to have them come in. But then what? You just going to have them sit around? Is there some real mental health programs going on? Or is there some skills and craftsmanship being taught to them? Like, look at the quality of these programs, and are they able to sustain these kids on a consistent basis to where these kids going to want to come there voluntarily and actually get something out of it that will help them ultimately change their behavior, their mindset. I just don't see that happening. I see more effort on the front end just to recruit them in, and then once they're in there, they don't have nothing to give them. And something y'all may not like to hear, but my third point is I think white people are absent. And yes, I know only black people can save us, but they had part in putting us in this predicament that we're in. And so they've completely absolved themselves of any culpability. So they're absent in our recovery process, and we need to put pressure on them and say, look, man, y'all didn't put us in this. They may donate money and help fund things, but they won't get their hands dirty. And white people are missing. You see them present in every other social issue and political issue and human rights issue for every other people except for black people. So white people are missing in our recovery issue, and we have to hold them more accountable for putting us in these predicaments. But I know I'm kind of all over the place, but that's just kind of my 3 points.
Well, let me say something real quick. Somebody just made a comment to me, a mixed race person and all that. And, I know they between two, we may have one parent white and one black. First of all, let me just say this. If whatever parent that you have that is white, and go have an innocent conversation with them. Black families do not raise their little ones to hate white people. Again, I'm going to say that. My mother and my father took a lot of hell off white people. He was raised in the deep South, deep South. Told me some of them horror stories. But he did not teach us to hate white people. He didn't trust them. Let me say this. White people in this country have a history of rape, killing, murder, rob, and stealing black people. And still right now today, mistreating black people. Now you have some white people. They're not going to lynch a black person, but they get them on a job, they're going to mistreat them. They're going to get them the dirtiest job. They're going to make it rough for them. So for me to saying this, I don't have a problem with mixed race people, and I know you're torn between two, but at the end of the day, the black gene is the dominant gene. You're black. You can call yourself mixed all you want to, but you are black. Our gene, we have the dominant gene. My brother, he can bear witness to that at the end of the day. Somebody know what I'm talking about? Get quiet on that end.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah.
you-
We have the dominant gene. Listen, a black man can lay down with a white woman and have a baby. That baby black. A white woman can lay down, vice versa. That baby is black. Now, I'm not telling
applications, right?
Right. I'm not telling you go out there and hate white people. I'm not saying that. But white people have a history. It has been proven of mistreating blacks in this country. And I always say, white silence is violence. If you see,
Well, let me ask you this, Martin.
Go ahead, brother.
And so what do you think about some of them points I raised? Do you think that these contribute to why some of these violence prevention programs don't work?
Of course. Well, let me just say this: it's not. It's a trick. You said the key word. More money is invested into the prison system than education, and it's listen. It's not designed. It's not balanced. It's not designed.
Right.
It's to keep you. Listen. You're a slave. You're born in captivity. Black people, you got to remember that. You are born into captivity. This is a white man's world. This is his society. He is the dominant. This is his land. We're only guests here on this land. I have to tell you, well, how you know that, Martin? What do we own and control? We don't control the military. Who faces on the money? There ain't no black face on that money. You got one dark coin, that's Lincoln, and it's turned the opposite way. Who controls money? Who controls the economics? Who controls the education? Who controls the military, the police, the schools? Who controls the water supply? Who controls the food supply? Who controls the air for us airplanes and all that? It's the white man. The same man that brought us over here into this country. Now, some of us was
Marty,
here.
I gotta agree with.
Go ahead.
I gotta agree with the gentleman that came on because he spoke in hindsight because when you look at how many black people own contracts in the prison system, we don't. So it is in the best interest of other nationalities to keep us locked up because we continue to feed them.
That's it.
Because if you have a contract to feed 3,000 prisoners and you don't have 3,000 prisoners, now my contract has to be adjusted, which takes money away from me.
Say it, brother. Say it.
So now we have to go out, quote unquote, and get the numbers to satisfy this contract.
Yes, sir. Say it, brother. And guess what?
So
go ahead,
go
bro.
ahead.
You're on the road. Go ahead, brother. I don't want to stop you. Go ahead. You're on the road.
no, you know, because we don't own anything, just as you said. So just as the gentleman spoke prior, we need to colonize ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need to look at it for what it is, accept it for what it is, like-minded people, and let's get going.
And we need white people to help
Because
us do this, too. We need white people to help us do this. Because you know.
Now, well, real quickly, just to speak to that, Martin, they're not going to do it voluntarily.
No.
You know what I mean? They got to be mandated. They got to be something happening in the world, and it's going to be a response from them. A lot of them are not going to take initiative to do it on a long-term basis. They'll do a project, but they're not just going to up and use their time and energy to voluntarily come help us. You know, and I don't expect it to happen, but we do need to put pressure on them and their ancestors for the conditions they put us in. It needs to be put out there, but they ain't just finna come do it voluntarily. And so with that being said, these violence prevention programs are a joke because who's funding it? You know what I mean? So it's like the people who have oppressed you have allocated some money for you to help you get yourself out of the situation we put you in. So I'm gonna throw you some kibbles and bits and see if you can get out this little Mega Man race. You know, it's a little Pac-Man thing. It's a game to them. They giving you the money to get out of the situation they put you in.
You know, to make themselves look, hey, well, you know what? We're supporting what this individual is talking about. But just
Right.
like you said, they'll come out in response to animal rights.
Mm-hmm.
What about African American rights?
Mm-hmm.
You see what they did to Michael Vick.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying
Look,
he's
there was
white
a story
because-
from Michael Vick. They just said a couple months ago the last dog died from that. I mean, y'all still bringing up this stuff for Michael Vick? This man done restored his life, doing good in the community.
Exactly.
Still bringing up the dog. They talking about the last dog that died from that situation.
Well, it's called.
10, 15 years ago.
I don't know how many people I got on this live. 4. Yeah, I got 4. I can't let another one on. I'm scared to let another one on.
You know what, Mark?
Yeah.
I'm going. You guys have a
Okay.
blessed evening.
All right.
Let the other callers.
Hang up
bye
now, brother. Why it go? Okay. All right. All right. Hey, caller, where you calling from?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, hold on, brother.
Is in these families, they take care.
Go ahead, Chris. You live. Chris, you live, uncut, unedited. Go ahead. We hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. But a lot of times, what they do, they implement structure in the kids' life when they're 3, 4, and 5. They do everything right. They wait till the fourth quarter when these kids, 16, 17, and 18, they start babying them and pacifying them, and they just go astray. All that what they work for, they throw away, man. Just because they want to be their sons and daughters' friends, man. They just want to be friends with them now. And I see it all the time, man. And I just don't understand that. Why parents do that, man?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times they do that because they're overcompensating. They realize that they have failed them, and so instead of instilling discipline and problem solving and conflict management, I've messed up. So I'm gonna give you gifts and try to be cordial with you and treat you like my peer. It's a sign of a parent waving the right flag. This is not your friend. This is not your peer. This is your child. They need discipline. They need structure. But when each time a parent try to be their friend, I see these moms go out with their daughters to the club. They done pretty much wave the white flag. It's a wrap for them.
Okay. Brother, last
I got one
caller.
question.
Go ahead, Chris.
Wait, I got one question. Do you ever see a man on TikTok shaking his butt with his daughter?
No.
All that. I be seeing that.
I haven't
Now,
seen
it's
it.
more so it's not as many men as women do it, but I'm not trying to get into no man against woman thing, and I usually see it with the white men. I don't see it with no black men doing it.
All right. Let me go to this last caller. Go ahead, last caller. Last caller. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, how's it going, y'all? And so I really caught the tail end of it. I caught some kibbles and bits of
Well,
it.
let me ask you a question. You want to answer? What the question is we've been floating around. Does these violence prevention programs really work?
No, I wouldn't bet my money on it. I feel like this though, it's conscious. I think I heard part of the conversation, and again, excuse me for being uninformed, but I think I can catch up.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and so the violence prevention programs have to come from the people who look like us, who have been already. I think United in Peace is one, where it's a anti-gang cultural coalition as far as like the youth and the violence prevention programs. Like who okay, so I guess my question would be, it depends on who comes up with the strategy and format for these, because if it's not people that look like us, then they're doing it based on assumptions.
Okay, let me say this, brother. I don't want you to be deceived on a lot of things.
Okay.
You can have a person that look like us but working their plan. So that don't let that blow you over, because they use people. They know how to pick certain people that's going to follow the way they think things should be done and put them in front of us. They know how to do that. They know they professionals. They know how to do that.
That was my point. Yeah. That was my point. So when I said people, that was my point. So we're not talking about quote unquote house nigga. We're talking about the people that spend the house nigga on the stage to dance and Charlie Pan dance for us. So what I was speaking on is the people that actually design that plan, not who is going to bring it to us as a community.
Okay, brother, it's like this. I'm gonna say this to you too. If I'm giving my money to a politician, I'm looking for a return. I'm telling them what I want done. That's just like a man going out there to buy sex from a prostitute. He's paying for what he wants. If he wants sex, that's what he's going to pay for. Now, if he just want to pay and for her to listen to his problem, that's what he's going to pay for. So don't you think that the government is going to pump millions of dollars in these communities and they don't have no say so what go how it operate? Trust me, they have already proven to us that they can run our community and don't be in our community and don't live in it. It's been proven.
The Daily's been doing it forever.
Mm-hmm. Come on now. I got one brother on here, he can't stand to come into the city because he don't trust it. Born and raised in the city, but he don't trust it. He know the insides and outs. He know it, how brutal it can be. And when you go in certain areas, man. Listen, to all my, man, I got another person calling in. I don't know if I can take this person. Yeah, but I think that brother fell off. But go ahead, Chris, you want to say something? Go ahead.
No, I'm just like, I'm just, it's like excuse after excuse, but
yes.
what are the solutions, man?
That's
they
right.
put these violent treatment programs, they don't want them to work. They don't. They just got to throw something out there, throw us a little bone out there like, okay, I'm trying. They don't want them programs to work, man. They don't.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Because the person that just came on, he talked about how a lot of people tend to run and facilitate these things. And I worked in drug treatment programs, and I felt like the most experienced people are the ones that actually did some dirt and they're trying to teach others to kind of, navigate through it. But if you have like an ex-gang member who are facilitating these violence prevention programs, oftentimes they got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Now they might have changed their life around, but them dudes in the street still at this guy. And so oftentimes you want the person who's experienced, who's lived that life, but at the same time, can you completely leave that life while still trying to mentor the youth and things like that? So I've seen a lot of conflict with that as well. You want the youth to have someone they can resonate with, but oftentimes the dude's still in and out the street. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all think about that?
I piggyback off of what you said. Here's the whole thing, though. Even the Bible says you can't be lukewarm. Mm-hmm. Pick a side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about when we talk about people and mentors from the streets. Listen, we're not talking about the ones that still got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. They're not qualified to provide a solution. But there are those who are out there that do qualify. Some of them on canes, some of them on dialysis.
Mm-hmm.
But they have the information to pass the torch and to make an impact based on their story. Because sometimes all you got to do is, like me personally, I love sitting down listening to elders. Because sometimes you ain't got to try to teach them and tell them nothing. All you got to do is tell your story.
Well, you speaking from a mature standpoint. So take that example of someone that's on dialysis. What's the chances of that youth connecting with that elder? You see what I'm saying? Like, they might be the perfect person.
There's still, without saying too much, because this is the internet, but there is still elders out there that do have the influence.
True, that is true.
Yeah, I understand. I caught that. But let me just say this, guys. Okay, no, somebody else calling. Hold on. Caller, where you calling from?
I'm calling from Chicago.
I got a woman online. Okay, hold on. All right, I got a woman. I want to hear what this woman got to say. I was finna say something. Come
Mark,
on, woman.
I'm going to step off so you can let someone else come on, too.
Okay.
So I'm going to listen to the... Okay, appreciate it.
All right, come on, young lady.
Brother.
Come on, lady. Come on.
How you all doing tonight? I heard your question. You said, do this violence prevention thing work?
Yes.
I think it could work the way they have it, like you say, the way they're trying to design it, as far as, like you said, recruiting these young guys and things like that. But I think it's also what you said, Martin. It's like you gotta show that you for them. You can't pull them into these programs and then you have nothing to offer. Because it's the way that I've always said, because I'm a mother, and like you said, a lot of things with these younger kids, it ain't what they been told to do, it's what they see.
That's it.
Because I'm gonna say it like my mama say, it was either taught or it was caught.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things that our kids see is the way we done things, and then us being mothers. I'm 50 years old. Like you say, there's a lot of things that your mother may have done. You didn't understand it. You had rejections about it. And then when you have that type of trauma in your life and you birth these kids, you birth that trauma right into them. Some of that trauma is birthed into them that they don't even know how to get out of some of these things that they in because parents ain't addressed it. They ain't dealt with themselves. So therefore, they don't even know how to deal with their children when it comes to this trauma. So like you said, that's when the overcompensating come in. That's when the befriending come in. That's where a lot of stuff come in. And then when you speak about, how this society is and things like that, yeah, we still in slavery. We might as well face that. We still in slavery. They still got that type of attitude with us as far as slavery.
Mm-hmm.
They just doing it in a more modern way. And we as black people, like you said, we gotta wake up and smell this coffee. We gotta wake up and smell the coffee. But like you said, if you really want this program, show us that you want our kids to be better through this program and stop just throwing money to these people and do what needs to be done that you may see. Because if you show me something different, then I'm going to think different.
Mm-hmm.
But if you show me what I see every day, then what's changing?
That's true. I agree with you. And then you got a lot of parents have came on this live and said, the system won't help me until my child commit a crime. Then they want to come on in. Then it belongs to them.
I'm going to say this to you, Martin.
Yes.
My son is here right now. He went at 21, 22. They gave my son 12 years. I told my son everything I knew under the sun. I knew the bad side, I knew the good side. So I taught you both ways. And I know when we get older as people, we get our own perception about life. It's the type of people we're around. And I'm not saying people making you do things, but if you're around a loser, you're going to be a loser. If you're around a winner, you're bound to win.
I agree with that.
So it's all about what you sticking yourself to in order to do what you need to do. So it's all about perception. And I don't know what his perception could have been, not having his dad, like you say, I'm a single mother, but I heard you say that. Don't say you're independent if you got all this Section 8. Well, I don't got none of that. So I guess I was independent. Mm-hmm. I have a husband now. I've been married 13 years. Mm-hmm. But when my son and my daughter was young, it's a perception. And I know it's a perception because my daughter been a lawyer for 3 years down in D.C. So I know it's a perception. Because I gave y'all both the same, but it don't mean y'all want it the same.
Mm-hmm. See that?
So that's what we have to understand. But like you said, as far as being my kids' friends, no, I never done that. But like you say, maybe I'm going to punish them, but then I go back on the punishment. Now, they make me say stuff like that. Oh, she said she was going to whoop us. She ain't whoop us, stuff like that. But as far as being their friend or putting things before them, letting them see certain things that I know kids shouldn't see, because I was more like one of those kids, what my mama said, that's what I done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I ain't gonna say I ain't do some stuff behind her back, but as far as she know, I done what she said do. She say stay in this house, I'm in the house. Now, if she let me go outside and she say come back at 10 o'clock, then maybe I got to lie and say the bus was late.
I understand. Trust me. Been there.
You know, but I ain't play no games with my mama. I ain't play games like that. But like you said, that's not what we taught, and that wasn't my perception. Now, I got a sister. She ain't get the perception I got. She got a young daughter now, 13, acting out. And it's like I call my sister because, like you said, I'm grown and I know something different just from being in life. And I said, you know what? You ain't never whooped them kids' ass. She need her ass whooped.
But it's kind.
She said, I ain't got time to be dealing with all that. She'll learn the hard way. Well, no, that ain't what you're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. And you know, it's kind of too late.
The hard way,
she's 13. It's too late.
Listen, if she got her first piece of, you know what, man, it'd be hard. That
and that's what I'm saying.
That rules. I'm just telling you, and I'm trying to be nice.
Oh, I know.
I'm trying to be nice. At that age, they develop and all that, and boys get to tell them. And you know, a lot of women and men, we don't tell our children how to pick. We don't teach them how to pick. You know, we have to teach them. You know, I had a friend, we went to church. His wife, my wife, former wife, our children went, and all his children knew was church. They didn't know nothing else about the street and all. Me and him knew about the street, but guess what? His daughter came up pregnant, and it broke his heart. And I pulled him to the side.
You ain't taught her number one way.
Right. That's what I told him. I said, brother, he said, man, I was so disappointed. I said, but you didn't teach her about these boys. You have to teach them. See, we can't make our children exempt because they was raised a certain way. The same things that face any teenager out here, teen pregnancy, drugs, gangs, it can happen to any teenager, whether you in the church or out of the church. So,
well, I'm gonna say this before I get off your live, because I ain't gonna hold it up. But I'm gonna say this to all parents out there that's maybe from the age of 30 to my age, 50, maybe 55. Our kids have been adapted to our voices and who we are. But when you begin to change your voice, then it's unfamiliar. See, kids, they deal with familiar. So if I say to you, oh, you on punishment, or you this, or you that, or you stupid, you act like your daddy, this is what they program to. So this is what they do. But when you begin to ask your kids, oh, how was your day? How was this? Or how was that? This is something new. And we get, you know what I'm saying? We get fear of unfamiliar. But see, these kids ain't fearful of us because we got the same routine. Our routine is the same, so they already programmed to who we are. Yeah. We got to stop being that person. Even if you've done it in the past, switch it up.
Excuse me, ma'am. I got a question for you. So you say you had a daughter and a son. You say your son is locked up and your daughter is a lawyer?
Yeah.
And you gave them the same structure and everything in life?
Same structure, everything in life.
Okay, let me say this right here. Did you have a male figure around your son?
Not in the beginning. Not till he got like 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, and as a mother, like you say, I can't teach him to be a man. I can only give him value.
Yeah.
That's all I can give him. I can give him values. I can't, you know.
Right.
But when my husband finally came along, you know, my husband used to be in the street, so he taught him a lot about this, that, and the other. But, you know, sometimes, like you say, hey, you got to get out here. You think you got it in your mind how it goes, so you got to get out here and figure out how it goes. And, you know, and sometimes, you know, like you say, coming from a home that's good, you went to school in Oak Park, you did this, you did that, you ran track, and then you get out here, and now you sitting up in a jail. And like now, it's a lot better for him now, but when he first got there, I didn't think he was going to make it. But I just told God, you already know. I trust and believe in you. So whatever you see fit to do, it's all well with me. And when you have that type of peace, that peace surpasses all understanding.
Can I say
and
something,
it'll
sister?
guard my heart.
Can I say something? Can I say
Uh-huh.
something? This might sound controversial, but you said something that kind of stuck me. Now, your boyfriend, which is now your husband, could he have been influenced by him, by his lifestyle?
Well, he didn't have that lifestyle when he came along.
Okay.
When he came to me, he didn't have that lifestyle. My husband was recovering from alcohol probably like almost 4 years when I got him.
Okay.
Yeah, he had been trying. He got 17 years of sobriety now.
Okay.
Yeah, he been turned himself from the
Because that's another thing, too.
I just know, that was his life.
That's another thing. Because I mean,
if you got that type of stuff in your house, that ain't good neither. You got that type of man, he watching that too. I understand that.
Yeah, it's because
Yeah. So like you said, it's just a lot of avenues, and we have to be as people who have to hear from others, because each one teach one. And
Yes.
I ain't get religion with that. I'm just saying, if
That's
you've
right.
been around the block a couple of times and I'm just starting the block, then if you telling me something about the block, don't go that way, don't go this way, then I need to hear that because you already been there.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And a lot of times this is what people don't do, even grown people. We all want to think we self-righteous in our own mind.
That's
Everybody
true.
think they right. Everybody think they right.
That's right. That's
Nobody
right.
want to take that seat and say, because my husband, it's funny you say that, because my husband working at one of the violence prevention programs.
Mm-hmm.
And I just asked him before he laid down, I said, do you think the program worked? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, nah, I said, I'm going to say it don't. I just think the kids that's there, they want it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're there. But as far as the all-over program, I don't think it's set up
Nah, I don't.
for them guys.
I don't think
And a lot of times it's court ordered that they have to be there.
Right. And it's
Well,
like
I met a lot of the little guys there. Some of them ain't even in jail because, they got them, I think, from the age of like 12 or 13, but they high-risk individuals. I think that's what they call them, high-risk individuals or something.
high risk.
And some of them ain't even been to jail, so they catching them, I guess, before they go. And then you do got some that's been in jail, but like you said, I think it's like 13 to 24 or something. I don't know the age exactly. So like you say, some kids you got, they don't, like you said, they didn't know nothing else. They didn't see nothing else. So they want to come to the program to see maybe do it really help me. Like, I don't got nobody to show me. These people say they'll show me. I want to be, I want to be shown. So you got some people that kids that made up in their mind they want to be shown. And then you got some don't want to tell them nothing.
But that's the
Hey,
majority.
Martin, I hate to say I'm gone, man. Hey,
Okay.
call me after
But
the show, okay?
y'all
Okay.
have a good night. And
All
I'm
right.
gonna get
Martin, call me after the
Okay,
show.
I'm getting ready to
All right,
end it
peace, bro.
anyway. Okay.
All
All right, call me.
All right.
Good night.
All right. Good night.
All right.
I'm getting ready to end it anyway. I want to. I got somebody still on. You got one person still on. Okay. Listen. Let me just say this, people. Let me say this. Do I believe these programs work? Not really. It's like a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. Now, should we stop trying? No. Should we keep trying until we find something that works? Yes. So every violent prevention program out there, I'm not saying go home and rip up your grant and say, I'm not going to do this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying be open to changes. When you see something is working, stick with it. And if you have new ideas, you have to evolve. Nothing stays the same. Nothing stays the same. You have to evolve, So that's what I'm saying. I wish the government, the same amount of money they invested in these violence prevention programs, they put it in the community for jobs and self-employment and like that. Do that. And I guarantee you will see a difference in violence in our community. When our communities are deprived, you hear this word underprivileged. Trust me, that's by design. We know America is black and white. We know that, whether you want to admit it or not. to my mixed people. It's black and white, whether you like it or not. I'm not in denial of it. It's real. When they wrote that Constitution, they had themselves in mind being at the top and all others at the bottom. So, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. This is live, uncut. You already know what it is. The Crime Chaser, live, uncut, unedited. You already know what it is. It's the Crime Chaser, live, uncut, unedited.